How did you end up focusing on helping entrepreneurs and individuals to be successful?
This is one of those things where if you do enough experiments and then you go with what is working, then you make your life really easy. And I'm all about, whether, business can be really easy. It can just flow naturally. And sometimes business can be a grind, or, you hustle yourself into burnout. A lot of people experience that because they're trying to do it the hard way, or they're going against their own nature, or they're trying to find a market that's not there, any number of things, or doing what they think they should rather than what's, again, listening to themselves, what's actually feeling good. And so, one of the first things I was doing was when I started my podcast, and for anyone listening, like, I thought I was late to the game. I thought, oh my gosh, all the good podcasts have been created. And this was nine years ago, I think, when I started podcasting. And so, people are still getting into podcasting today. I think, oh, I'm late to the game. But I started my podcast, and everyone else was like, how do I do it? And I said, well, let me just teach you. So I started having these fun sort of podcast boot camps, and I would host them in my villa. And we would launch a show in a month. And so we would have these meetings, and they'd get their cover art designed, and we do practice interviews and work through all the tech in person. And it was really fun. And that was because so many people were asking me. And so it was like the universe, keeps saying, like, maybe you should teach people this. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll make it a business. And that lasted, I don't know, almost a year on and off. But it was good practice, understanding what people needed and then giving them the thing that they needed most.
I think that you and I are alike in that we are tuned in at this point in our life to the universe. I finally started listening. So you get that little nudge. It may not even be in words. You should do this, if you're tuned in enough, you understand. It's kind of like why I started a podcast, this podcast. I used to work in radio at a public radio station, and I produced a 1-hour special with people like you. I had 3 guests on that one. And the program director decided not to air it. And I just ended up running, and I just got that little nudge. Well, why don't you go do a podcast with it? And here I am 62 episodes later. And the same thing too, I have well, you're a big Lynne McTaggart fan like I am, and she has this book, Power of 8, on healing groups of 8 or more people focusing healing intentions. Well, almost a year ago, I started a Power of 8 Facebook page, and it was the same thing. It just like, you know what? I just need to do this. I feel I need to do this. And now I have 330 members of this private Facebook page around the world. We're doing a healing for an old guy in St. Petersburg, Russia this Thursday. And so I have members all over the world. So yeah, once you get tuned into your life's purpose, listen to those little nudges. It may, like I said, not even be a word. You're like that.
Thanks for sharing. That's really. Do you ever get more than 8 people? I mean, I know the deal is. What's the normal thing you get there?
Well, I've had as low as 2 people, and then I've had the highest I've had is 16 on one call, on a Zoom meetup. And I mean, literally, I've had calls with people from Spain, Romania, India, tons of people in the U.S., Canada. And I've had people ask me, I said, well, isn't 8 the sweet spot? And if everything is energy and we can have more and more people come together, there's a lot more energy, focus, and power. Lynne McTaggart herself has had thousands of people on virtual calls for healing. She heals war-torn areas, crime-ridden areas, and everything. So, yeah, the more the merrier. So, if I could get all 330 members to come on, that'd be fun on
You
Zoom.
take it.
What's that?
You take it.
Yeah. But, and again, it's all about following a passion. But again, I'm focusing on Derek Loudermilk. What do you, as a coach, bring to the table for your clients that maybe other coaches don't?
Well, since we're on the topic of this power of 8, I saw there's the opportunity to apply that same to business and or many other areas. But since I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, using the power of 8 type of group, but for, let's say, somebody wanted to do a successful book launch, or they want to get on TV because they are building their personal brand, and they have this clear nudge that they should be doing a thing, and this them on their path. Mm-hmm. Then they will come to the group and say, here's what I want to manifest in my life. And I understand you're a law of attraction expert, and so there's whatever someone's ability or knowledge about the law of attraction is, that can be amplified with the group itself. And we essentially had 100% success rate. There's a few reasons why I think it works so well. Partly is because in selecting what you want to manifest, everyone has to be really excited about it, or it's not going to get chosen. So if it's like, yeah, I want to have a month where I make $100,000. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of exciting, but what's the juice behind that? What good is it going to be for you or the world? Or, why would we, the rest of the group, want to put our will into manifesting this into the world? And so we end up picking an outcome, a future reality that everybody wants to see. Like, so let's say I was like, I want to get on TV because I have a message that nobody else is saying that really needs to be heard about forgiveness, and a new method I have sort of come up with that speaks to specifically this aspect. And we're all like, yeah, I want that too. I want you to do that. So I'm going to support you by intending for that to be, the future reality we all experience together. And so, simply by picking a really good, it can be very motivating. Like I want to help you do that. And then when the power of group all comes together, it's so phenomenal. And I know you've probably experienced the same thing, but when you start, it feels like everyone's there. It's like leaping off a cliff into a river of consciousness, and then you're all there together. Mm-hmm. And it is so remarkable. And this can be used with people that have no spiritual inkling or practice, and it works simply because they're taking time out of their day to be present and to set an intention about something. It can be very simple.
Is that the unified field manifestation technique from Lynne McTaggart that you're doing?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that is a great way, and that is also interesting that you point out. You don't have to be spiritual to participate in this and understand that it works. 100% positive results is pretty good.
Yeah, one of them took a long time. I was like, we can't quite say it's 100%. It took 2 years to manifest, and the result was one of our friends. I did this with my college buddies that I see them every year. And we intended for our friend to have his wife, who is an Afghan citizen, to be brought to the US and given a residency permit. And there was so much global nonsense happening that prevented that from coming true quickly, that it just, it was just a slow manifestation process. But when we finally got the news, I was like, yes, we're back up to batting 1,000 on this one. So
Congratulations. That's great. I love the way you put that, global nonsense. That about sums it up, the last.
Hey friends, Derek Loudermilk here. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this clip, then there's something else that I want to tell you about, which is a mastermind that I'm running called the League of Superconductors. And it's for the greatest change makers of our time. The intention is to elevate entrepreneurs who are operating at a new level of consciousness. So if you're a spiritual teacher, a healer, a coach, and you're ready to start shifting the earth through your business and operating at both a 3D level and experiencing physical abundance, and also operating at a multi-dimensional level from inspiration and bringing totally new ideas and innovation and messages to people through your work, then that's what this group that I've put together is for. And there's 4 aspects. The Thought Leaders MBA is one pillar, everything you need to know about business, of being a thought leader in this time. What I call the energy experience, or applied metaphysics to your business. And then adventure, the adventure mindset, what it takes to be a leader operating from inspiration. And finally, peak performance, how to get the most out of our physical conditions, our body, our energy levels, our mind, all the different aspects that make us human entrepreneurs. So if that sounds interesting, then I invite you to click the link and find out a little bit more about it. You can also schedule a call, a strategy session with me, where I'll coach you for a little bit and we'll get to know each other, and we can see if you are a good fit for this year's group. We'll be starting in May of 2022. So check it out, and I'll see you next time.